Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to another video. This is Carrie Nicole, and so today we're going to talk about when someone actually values you, the rules that you've placed on relationships and life don't apply. And this one actually came to me. One of my people who are really close to me, they were experiencing the situation where they were a caretaker for someone, and I've talked about this before, and that person actually passed away. And so he knew this person for literal months and experienced this person for a couple of hours a week over the course of those months. And this man had collected war memorabilia and these type of things, weapons from past wars and coins and like all of these things for his entire life. And he found value in these things to the point where he collected them. And he didn't get to experience them as much toward the end of his life because he wasn't able to get down to the space in his home where all of these collector items were. And so the person who's close to me, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take him down there because he should get to experience this before he passes. And so to make a long story short, he was able to get him around the things that he collected in that space a couple of times before he passed away. And the thing that stood out to me in the conversation that we had about this experience was that they were able to have conversations. They connected on this level with something that this man deemed valuable to him, valuable enough to have collected it over the course of his entire life. And though he didn't know the person who was taking care of him for years and decades or whatever it was, he found that experience, that relationship, and that extension of, I need you to be able to go to the place that brought you joy throughout your life before you pass. He found so much value in that before he passed, he asked for some of those items to be given to that person. And the conversation that I had afterward was, it struck me, like, just because life really has the same silver lining in it that sometimes we miss because we're so attached to the rules. When someone values you and feels valued by you, they will give you their most prized possession, whether that be themselves and the experience with themselves, or in this case, the memorabilia that they've collected over the course of their lives. It doesn't take longevity and time for that value to come. It takes being in front of the people who actually see the things that God has put into you that are valuable. Now, he could have just gone into that space and taken care of the man the way that he, was directed to do so. But he went above and beyond because he saw the joy and understood the significance of being able to experience those things that were a huge part of that man's life. And the man in turn saw that he understood. He understood something that he valued and valued it just the same as him. So because he went above and beyond, he read his behaviors. And so when we think about the rules that we put on things, right? Like we put this rule on relationships, right? And we say you have to know somebody for a significant period of time, and then we determine what that time is. And you have to be able to experience an argument with them before you can deem that person is the right person for you. Or, you don't really know if they're your friends until, someone gossips about you in the room and they, take up for you or whatever it is. Well, what if that never happens, right? Like we place so many rules on how you determine if someone can be of value in your life. And I just don't think that is true, especially when you're in a space where you've gone through life and you're a little bit older and you've experienced a ton of things. You know who values you, you know the characteristics that you deem valuable. And because we've second guessed ourselves for so long, we create these rules that we have to abide by. Because we've made so many mistakes in the past, choosing and being in relationship and being in spaces and being in partnerships with people but we didn't actually vet them the way that we should have, we have to place rules for ourselves to stick to so that we have some parameters to guide us. We'll tell ourselves, okay, I'm not going to date for 6 months because I want to make sure that this person is or that I've healed before I start dating someone, or I have to date this person for 3 years before I can decide if they're going to be my life partner. We put those parameters around the situations because we do not trust ourselves. We put those parameters around the situation so that we have guideposts, because our own intuition isn't enough of a guidepost for us because we've made mistakes in the past. But what if today you told yourself, okay, I know what I value. I know when the people in front of me are full of it and when they're actually true. I've grown my intuition enough to be able to trust it when determining if people are right for me and using my discernment in the world around me. And because of that, I don't need this list of rules as a guidepost, because my internal knowing and my alignment is my guidepost. So if in 2 months someone values me enough to share their most prized possessions with me, then perhaps they actually see my legit value. Because I can tell you this, I know people who have been in relationship for 15, 20 years, and they're still fighting to be seen. They're still fighting for their value to be shown. And I know people who I've been in relationship with for literal months who see the value in me so much that they're like, hey, I need you on this stage. People that I know need to hear you speak. It doesn't matter the rules that you've created. It matters how in tune with your alignment you are. And other people are going to place those stipulations on you in your relationships. They're going to say, you need this much time to be alone. You need this much time to date someone. You need this much time to be in this job to tell if it's really for you. But what if you sit with yourself for so long, just with yourself, right? With so much intention that when you go into a space or when you go into places or when you're with people, you immediately know if it's in tune with you or if it's not. You can tell. You've experienced enough life to know that you don't need those rules as a guidepost. You need you. You need you to be so in alignment with you and so in alignment with what God says is for you and who God says you are, that you don't need anybody to tell you a length of time. You don't need anybody to say, because things can change in the blink of an eye. God can change things in the blink of an eye. God can work miracles in the blink of an eye. So if you stick to those rules, you're going to miss the miracle. So what if you tell yourself, I'm going to trust my intuition. I'm going to trust my discernment. I know me enough to be in alignment with me 24/7. So I don't have to stick to the rules that the world says exist, because I know who I am and I know what's for me. So today I would encourage you, when you are in spaces, look for the people who actually see your value and see the things that you value about yourself. I remember being in a space where I said, I just want to be with someone who values me beyond my appearance and my body, and sees and loves the things about me that I see and love about me. And now I know that was me fighting to get in alignment with myself. So I encourage you, those things that you just wish you had, write them down, because that's you trying to get in alignment with yourself. And then when you go into places and spaces and you're with people, use that internal knowing as your ability to seek what is for you and what is not. Your ability to know if something that's for you has walked in the room, or to let something that's not walk out of the room. So I encourage you to do that today. And if you would like to see more content from me, remember to seek me. Goodness, I can't talk today. Just seek me out on all social media sites. Also, go to my website. The blog comes out every Wednesday. If you're someone who listens to my podcast, the Peace Podcast, that comes out every Monday, go ahead and rate that, like, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, if you haven't purchased your copy of Poems to Heal the Dead Things, either for you or someone that you know that is going through the healing process, that link will be attached for you to do just that. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again soon.